These afternoon NHL games are freaking wild, man. This was one of the nastiest performances I've seen in a while from the Leafs, or in just in any hockey game in general. But the Leafs do, I guess, beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-5, and the only thing I take away from this game is you got 2 points, get the hell out of there, and come home. After the long road trip, and I know we talk about the Leafs don't play well, this and that. This is the last game of the road trip. Think about it, right? For your core players, core 3 guys, they had the Four Nations face-off, which obviously went right through till the Thursday. They played Saturday at home against Carolina, which is a good hockey team, and obviously we know how that game ended out. But then you hit the road to Chicago, road to Boston, road to the Rangers, and road to Pittsburgh. It's been a busy time for a lot of these Leafs. And they play it back-to-back tomorrow, and then they travel to freaking Vegas after. But they finally come back home after, what, a week and a bit? And you play the Sharks tomorrow, and I'll get into that more later. But let's talk about this absolutely wild affair today at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? First period. Kind of a weird play in front of the net. Looks like Bobby McMann's going to try and backhand the puck. Kind of fans on it. But it rolls to the back post to Max Domi, who buries his first goal since freaking December. 4th of the year, 2:15 of the first period for McMahon and Robertson. And just like that, the Leafs lead at 1-0. And you're thinking, yeah, Pittsburgh's awful. This is probably how this game's going to go. 2 minutes after that, some really nice, passing around from the Nylander line. And Pittsburgh just gets all sorts of screwed up, right? Coverages get blown. It's horrific. Timmins gets a lone back post coming along the half boards. And he goes towards the net. And if you look at Timmins, right? He either has a gaping wide open shot on the far side, or he's got John Tavares wide open at the back post. Pick your choice, Timmins. And he's like, well, screw it. I haven't scored in 30-odd games. Let me fire it on. And he beats the goaltender, Blomqvist. And it's 2-0. 4:39 in. Timmins from Nylander and Holmberg. And we're sitting here like, okay, we're not even 5 minutes into this game. It's 2-0. Shots on goal were 13-2 in favor of the Leafs. I mean, we're feeling okay. And then the wheels fall off. Like, completely fall off. The Leafs allow 13 straight shots against. And Cody Glass, I guess, tipped in a point shot. It was a blast of a shot. I don't know if he tipped it in. Might just hit him. Ricocheted past Joe Woll. It's 3-1. That goal was at 10:27, so midway through the period. Just over a minute after that, Rickard Rakell scores. And I think that was the one. Let me try and confirm this for you guys. But I don't think I liked this goal from Joe Woll. There was a few goals in this game. He didn't play great. I mean, no shit. He allowed 5 goals. But the goals themselves, I didn't like what he did at all today. I'm a big Joe Woll guy, as you guys know. But, yeah, I didn't like that one bit. Let me try and find that Rickard Rakell goal. Yes, right. So this is where he plays a puck. So the shot came wide by, who was that? Was that Grzelcyk or Crosby? One of the two. And it goes about like 5 feet wide. It wasn't even close. And Woll goes sliding out of the net to try and get it. And if he bounces off the boards to the other side of the net to Rickard Rakell, he's at a wide open net. Because Joe Woll way overplayed that puck. And he can't get back to the post. He gets a piece of it, but it's not enough. And it's 3-2. It's 2-2 now at this point. And the wheels are falling off. Then they get a power play 2 minutes after that. And Crosby just fires one on and beats Woll 5-hole. If you look at the play, he really looked uncomfortable trying to make that save. I think he was expecting a pass, but he just looked surprised by the shot. That can't go in. And just like that, from 10:27 mark of the second period to the 13:51 mark, you went from being up 2-0 to down 3-2. Like that. What the hell just happened? And shots on goal in the first period ended up being 17-13 Pittsburgh. So in fact, you had 13-2 in shots. You allowed 15 unanswered shots. That is ridiculous. Regardless of how Joe Woll didn't play great, that can't happen. And you're going into the intermission down a goal now. Early in the second period, though, Austin Matthews has a chance at the backhand. Goaltender makes a save. Puck goes in the corner. Comes loose to Austin Matthews. He finds it and rips it 5-hole. And I'm like, that is Austin Matthews. He looks at the sky briefly and is like, finally, first goal in 13 games against a goaltender, if you count the Four Nations or something like that. Just nuts stuff. He has not put the puck in the net recently. He had an empty netter there against, was that Carolina or I don't know. No, it wasn't Boston. I think it was Carolina. Regardless of that, he had an empty netter since coming back from the break. That's it. He finally scores one against a goaltender, regardless of who's the hell's in net. At 4:08 of the second period, Marner and Nyes with assists, and hey, the Leafs have tied the game. All right, we can settle down now a bit. Wrong! Crosby to Rust, and he goes to the backhand, beats Joe Wall. I think it's just a nice play. That's one of those ones where it's Crosby to Rust. Some good players on the ice, fine. 5 minutes left in the period, they regain the lead. Not what you want to see if you're the Leafs. But then, again, this afternoon game, crazy stuff. Jake McCabe finds John Tavares with under a minute to play in the second period. Horrible line change from the Penguins. They leave a gaping wide open lane right down the middle of the ice for McCabe to fire it basically from his own hash marks into his own end to the blue line, hits Tavares, he gets the puck, fires it low blocker, beats the goaltender, and we're tied now. What is going on? And then, it looks like we're going to the intermission, right? 5 seconds left, Leafs ice the puck. All right, that's it. They win the face-off back to the D. They try to go D to D. Matthew Nyes tips it forward because he intercepts the play. And we're looking at the clock like, he's got the minimal time. He gets past the blue line, about the top of the circle, fires it on, beats the goaltender. He celebrates. I'm like, that might actually count. Hold up. And they don't review it, but you look at the replay, 0.1 seconds left. It enters the goal. And the Leafs go into the intermission somehow with the lead. Again, this is why this game was stupid. The Penguins are no good. That should not, when you have an offensive zone faceoff, which you win, with 5 seconds left in the period, you can't allow a goal against. That is nuts stuff. But who cares? Nyes gets his 23rd goal of the year. Tavares gets his 23rd goal of the year, assisted by Jake McCabe only. And the Leafs, again, somehow go into the intermission, leading 5-4. But you thought this game was done. You thought the craziness was over. You were wrong. 10 seconds into the period, Rickard Rakell, he scores. And I did not like Austin Matthews on this play. He has body position on the guy. All he's going to do is drive him to the outside. Can't do much with it. But Austin tries to go to the outside of the player to lift the stick. Misses it. Does not stick lift him. And he's got a lane to the net. And he goes to the backhand and beats Joe Wall. That can't happen. And they tie the game at 5. 10 seconds into the freaking period. Crazy. Now, chances happen late. Carl Sending rings one off the post. Nobody scores. By the way, shots on goal were 11-11 in the second period. 8-6 Leafs in the third period. So they kind of weathered the storm a little bit. Had some chances late. Don't get it. They go to overtime. And the only shot the Leafs get is Willie Nylander as he enters the zone and lulls everybody to sleep. Fires up blocker side, beats a goaltender. And honestly, as much as I like to be happy about overtime winners, my first reaction was, thank God. Thank God you don't lose this game to Pittsburgh. Last game of a road trip, I do understand that sort of excuse, but no, you're playing Pittsburgh. They're no good. You had the 2-0 lead. You had a couple different leads. You blew them in weird fashions. Find a way to win this game. They did. Riley with the lone assist. Nylander's 35th goal of the year. I believe he's now 10th all-time in Leafs goals. Quietly doing so. At the 1 minute mark of overtime, you get outshot 34-33 for the game, but you win the hockey game. Who cares? 2 points. Let's move on. That's all I got for you. Face-off die, you won 33-26. Power plays, you didn't score on the one. They had great first, I think it was a great first minute on the power play. Didn't score on it, obviously. Horrible second minute from the second unit. They were 1 for 2 in the power play. Obviously, the Crosby goal that I didn't like from Joe Wall was the lone power play goal they had. Hits were 23-13 in favor of the Leafs. Typical Kyle Dubas hockey. Statistically, Joe Wall, 5 on 34 shots. No good. Love the guy. I love him. But no good today. Nylander, goal and assist and a +1. Austin Matthews with a goal and assist and had 6 shots on net. Matthew Nyes a goal and assist. Timmins and Domi and Tavares all had goals in the game. Holmberg, McMahon, McCabe, Robertson, Nylander, Riley all had assists in this one. How Benoit ended up with a +3 and Riley was a -2 is kind of wild stuff, but hey, it is what it is. Him and Ekman-Larsson, don't like the pairing. I just don't. All right, on to the next one. And as I mentioned, the Sharks tomorrow night. Now, I get it. Pittsburgh's a hockey team. They have Crosby. They have Malkin. They have Rust. They have some players. The Sharks stink. That is the understatement of the century. The Leafs, after today's win, have a total of 79 points. Jump Florida again for the first place in the Atlantic Division. 79 points. You know how many points the Sharks have? 39! They are dead last in the league. It ain't close. They've won 1 game in their last 10. They have lost how many in a row? 8 straight games. I don't give a rat's ass second night of a back-to-back. You got to win that game tomorrow. 7:30 puck drop at Scotiabank Arena. Stolarz is going to be getting the start. It's a pretty big game for the Leafs. And why do I say that? One, trap game. It's the freaking Sharks. Second of all, the Lightning and the Panthers play each other tomorrow. So again, quick standings update for you guys. We all look at the Florida Panthers. Tampa's right there. They're hot. They haven't lost a regulation game in their last 10. They've won 8 straight. They're playing really good hockey. With the win today, the Leafs, as I mentioned, 79 points, 60 games. 78 points, 60 games played. The Panthers, 61 games played, so we have a game in hand over the Panthers. They're only 1 point behind us. The Lightning have a game in hand on the Leafs. They're only 4 back of the Leafs. They play each other tomorrow. All I ask, Leafs win that game in regulation, and for those 2 teams, one of them win in reg. Preferably the Lightning, because the Leafs still have some lead over the Lightning and the season series against the Lightning and all that stuff. And at that point, you win tomorrow, and let's say the Panthers lose tomorrow, you'll have a 3-point gap over them with a game in hand. That's exactly where you want to sit. Do a job tomorrow night. All right? So you know what, guys? That's the end of this one. If you enjoyed the video and the result of today's game, hit that like button. Do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. What'd you like, what'd you not like from today's game for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below. So follow up there if you haven't done so already, and I will talk to you guys. All right. Jays edition, very shortly, recapping this past week's games. Raptors edition tonight, 6 p.m. tip-off in Orlando against the Magic. And Leafs-wise, tomorrow night, 7:30 puck drop. Leafs at home against the San Jose freaking Sharks. Do a job, get 2 points. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the win this afternoon. Talk to you guys then.